is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Now at 6, RTV6 is working to get you answers tonight.
From Indiana's overburdened foster system and the children left behind,
to a very bumpy issue we're investigating across the area.
It might not look like much from this angle, but this railroad crossing in Beech Grove is giving drivers a lot of problems. I'm Paris LaBelle, and we're taking those concerns to CSX.
Railroad crossings, they can already be a little bumping, but what about when that bump just becomes a little ridiculous?
Railroad companies themselves own the actual crossing along a road and a few feet on either side of the tracks.
They are responsible for fixing things like potholes or uneasy surfaces. But one community says the rail companies aren't fixing an issue that's been there for years.
RTV6's Paris LaBelle is digging into a bumpy ride on one of Marion County's busiest roads.
It's one of the busiest roads in Beech Grove, and from this angle, it doesn't look like much, but just wait until a car or a truck drive over the top of it, and it's a completely different story. Myron Freeman has been familiar with these tracks for a while.
53 years. It was an old two-lane road. Actually, it used to zigzag across over here at Connection, but over the years, my goodness, the traffic has increased.
Cars, trucks, buses, and all types of vehicles drive right down Emerson near downtown Beech Grove every day.
Well, the tracks are getting beat up.
And for drivers coming across this railroad crossing, it's more than a little bumpy.
It started getting to the point where, this is ridiculous.
We were out there on Monday and watched vehicle after vehicle bounce around as they drove over the tracks. And we watched some cars make dangerous swerves and...
You'll see somebody come through and all of a sudden they'll slam on their brakes because they see it's rough.
We drove over it ourselves at the posted speed limit of 40 miles an hour. The crossing is owned by CSX Railroad, and Myron says the crossing itself has been an issue for a while. He says it got really bad about 4 years ago, and he's even ended up with expensive repair bills.
With 3 broken motor mounts on my own car, and I slowed down.
So Myron started making telephone calls.
Beech Grove Mayor, City Mayor of Indianapolis, all of them said it was somebody else's jurisdiction. Everybody wants to point to somebody else to get it done. And it's not going anywhere. And
calls to CSX didn't do anything to get it fixed either. But Myron has a message for CSX.
Well, would you look into it and get back to me?
CSX tells us tonight they are going to look into this crossing. We're going to come back out to this crossing to make sure it gets fixed. Reporting in Beech Grove, Paris LaBelle, RTV6.
And CSX also tells RTV6 in a statement, thank you for bringing concerns about the S. Emerson Avenue crossing to CSX's attention. We are looking into the matter to determine what repairs are necessary. They also say, if you have a concern about safety at crossings, contact them at csx.com/tellcsx.
We've got some new details tonight on the mysterious death of a baby whose body was found in an SUV on the east side. We now know the girl was 1-year-old Maria Guadalupe Sanchez, but we have no word yet on how she died. IMPD responded to an auto zone on East Washington Street Saturday and found the baby unresponsive. She was pronounced dead at the hospital. It's unclear how long the baby had been in the car or if the weather played any factors. The child's mother was taken in for questioning, but so far no charges have been filed in the case. Investigators say it could take them 8 weeks to release the cause of death.
The journey to becoming foster parents and the challenges the Department of Child Services is facing.
Right now, there are 14,000 children in the Indiana foster care system. Our Stephanie Wade sits down with a couple desperate to add to their family and what it's been like for them trying to get approved for fostering.
So tonight we take an inside look at the process for getting approved to foster or adopt.
Thousands of children are in foster care in Indiana, many of which are waiting to be adopted. And those who are willing and eager to open their homes to these children say they're confused and quite frankly frustrated that it takes so long to get approved as foster parents.
We have a 4.5-year-old named Maxwell, and he is amazing. He is funny, he is kind.
Michael Nichols and Wade Johnson want to become foster parents for the right reasons.
To have a family.
To have our own family and to do it right.
They adopted their first child, Maxwell, through a private adoption agency, but opted to try fostering through the Department of Child Services, hoping it will lead to the adoption of their second.
You know that there are challenges, but I'll do it anyways. Mm-hmm. We just didn't think it would be this long of a process.
It took them 9 months to complete their first adoption. This time around, it's been almost a year and a half.
We've been told the end of February, the end of March, April, now we're told the end of May. We don't really have a lot of faith that will happen.
Their frustrations stem not only from their long wait time, but from thinking of the ones who are really suffering here.
I had a hard childhood myself, and so I see people like us, and we know so many friends that are so desperate to do this. And you see so many kids that really need it. We need our politicians to put their money where their mouths are. Get the funding to DCF. Our social worker is so overworked.
Foster parents have to go through training, background checks, show medical statements, ensure their home is a safe environment, then a home study that includes a minimum of 3 home visits. DCS tells me on average, the entire licensing process takes about 4 months. But when it comes to actually placing a child in a home, the agency says the one challenge they face is finding families who are willing to take in children of varying ages with varying needs or sibling groups. The more flexible a foster family, the quicker a child can be placed.
I have to believe it's worth it. I know it's worth it.
Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Stephanie also asked how many people have applied and are waiting to become foster parents right now in Indiana. We've yet to hear back on those numbers. If you want more information on fostering or adoption, find this story on the IndyChannel.com or the RTV6 app.
RTV6 is working to check back in on a problem so we can help this frustrated homeowner get this problem fixed. We told you Friday about a resident who had nowhere to turn, so she called us. She says because of where a utility company buried a cable line, she has not been able to replace her damaged mailbox and hasn't been able to send it out mail for months. The post office wants the mailbox replaced so her mail can be safely secured, but no one has been willing to replace it because of a Comcast Xfinity cable line that was buried underneath. After we reached out to Comcast, crews came by to check out the problem and promised us they'd have the problem fixed within 48 hours. We checked today with that homeowner, and while Comcast has not quite hit that deadline, she says the 811 crews have been out marking where the line is, and Comcast says they'll be out to fix the line tomorrow or Wednesday. Getting changes made when you are in a desperate situation, that's our mission at RTV6. Working for you means we'll hold people accountable when you have nowhere else to turn. If that's you, reach out to us by emailing us at workingforyou@rtv6.com and we'll try to help.
Right now, I'm at the Storm Team 6 Tracking Center with Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory, and we want to get you a first look at your evening forecast here at 6.
Lots of clouds, cool temperatures. But as we look ahead, you know what we see, right?
Changes are coming.
Yeah, heat and humidity, first part of the forecast that we've had in a while that will be sustained warm. 6 out of the 7 days, by the way, will be in the 80s. I show you the radar because you can look out your window and you see the clouds around, but there are no showers. And I'll add yet, our next chance for rain arrives in the morning tomorrow. If you've got evening plans, we're in good shape. You'll need a jacket. Temperatures are cool, 54 in Kokomo, 1 degree cooler in Grant County around Marion, 56 in Clinton. As you look at these temperatures, 74 is our average high. The thunderstorms we had about 24 hours ago had a purpose, and that was to knock our temperatures back here in the short term. We'll have another cool day tomorrow. Temperatures this evening with mostly cloudy skies will drop to 52 by 11 p.m. Tomorrow morning, we're in the 40s. That's the way we start the day. Scattered showers around. It will be cool everywhere. As far as our temperature trend as we go later in the week, humidity is the story, and there are your climbing temperatures. More on the Memorial Day weekend coming up.
All right, Kevin, we'll see you soon. Working for you to protect you when you're at your most vulnerable. As we get into storm season, this will be a common sight across central Indiana. But what you don't want is to be caught off guard by a scammer when you're dealing with storm cleanup and power outages. Both Duke Energy and Indianapolis Power and Light say there's been an uptick, a big uptick in scammers pretending to be your utility. When they call, the ID may even say IPL on your phone. They'll threaten to turn off your power within an hour of you don't pay them, and they'll often ask for that via a prepaid credit card. So do not offer your information. Instead, call the utility's number listed on their website and report the scammer number.
A neighborhood in southern Indiana is shaken today after going through a deadly explosion. The scene is stunning. Jeffersonville Mayor Mike Moore visited the Capitol Hill neighborhood. That's where a house exploded, killing one person who has not been identified. The blast damaged 15 to 20 houses, breaking apart some of their foundations and making at least 5 of them unlivable. Investigators say they are still looking into the cause of this blast. The mayor believes there will be clarification in the next 24 hours.
Employers in Indiana have new guidelines for job candidates or current employees who test positive on drug or alcohol tests. The new guidelines are part of a second chance system that include employee education, supervisor training for companies, and plans to help workers who have substance abuse issues. Second chance systems can actually help companies save money, as it is usually cheaper to help an employee through their substance abuse disorder than it would be to fire and replace them.
It is cheaper for you to send the individual to treatment than, they said it's up to 200% of a salary to replace somebody, depending on their level and within the organization. It's a lot less expensive and a lot more manageable to put them in recovery and help them come back. And what that creates is a very, very loyal employee who will be there for a long time.
The new guidelines are part of a bill signed into law last year.
Two-time Indy 500 champion Al Unser Jr. has been charged with OWI after his car was pulled over by Avon police. The Hendricks County Jail says Unser was arrested around 3:20 this morning. Al Jr. is currently a consultant with Harding Steinbrenner Racing, and his arrest came just hours after their driver, Colton Herta, qualified 5th for this Sunday's 500. Unser has battled alcoholism for years. Less than 2 weeks ago, we told you about him speaking to students at Hope Academy, a school for students who are in recovery. Still ahead on the news at 6, RTV6's Hiring Hoosiers is breaking down stigmas.
Why one driver says her initial fear of this job has turned into pure pleasure, and how you can find out if this would be a right fit for you.
This is the beauty of television. Even though we're on the 6 o'clock news right now, he is, what, you're basically halfway to Philadelphia right now.
I'm flying. I'm on the plane.
It is the barnstorming tour each and every year for the IndyCar drivers, but still, Tony Kanaan breaking things down. Crazy Monday here at the Speedway coming up here in RTV6.
I think Dave's jacket, the fact that it was that cool, tells part of the story. It's 57 degrees in Indianapolis right now. Where will the warmth come from? It's not too far away. Well, we've got it for you coming up.
Tune up for only $89. For on time.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Hiring Hoosiers is an RTV6 initiative helping you find jobs and opportunities that will better your life. So we want to put this on your radar. Dozens of new jobs are coming to Bartholomew County. LHP Engineering Solutions is expanding its operations in Columbus and adding 135 new jobs by the year 2023. It provides services for automotive, aerospace, and medical industries, and it's going to invest more than $1 million to grow its headquarters in Columbus. The company is hiring for engineers in several fields. We've made it easy for you to apply to those open positions. You can find that link right now at hiringhoosiers.com in our career resources section.
And right now on RTV6's Hiring Hoosiers, if you live in Indianapolis, there's a good chance you came across someone doing this very job multiple times today alone. Indigo already boasts more than 500 employees, and they're looking to add to their roster of drivers as they add new routes over the next year. We rode along with driver Misty Al-Shabazz, who says she was nervous about learning the city at first, but those fears quickly were in the rearview mirror, and she says the great benefits, good pay, and friendly passengers allow her to enjoy every moment in the driver's seat. Indigo says with service increasing by about 50% this fall, they'll need more people to get behind the wheel.
They're the first ones that you see when you get on the bus, or the last ones that you see, and often they're the only people from Indigo that you would ever interact with.
Well, to become one of those drivers, you need a GED or high school diploma, plus a clean background check and drug screen. Indigo does help with qualifications for your commercial driver's license or CDL, and they offer paid training. They also offer a progressive pay scale once training is complete, ranging from $19 an hour to almost $24 an hour once drivers reach their 2-year anniversary. If you are interested in learning more or applying, we put a link on hiringhoosiers.com.
Well, one of the biggest reasons people watch the news is for the weather.
And as we continue looking at 70 years of broadcast memories, not only have the faces changed of those who've brought you the forecast, but also the technology. Meteorologist David James arrived at Channel 6 in 1980 before computers. That led to creativity in visually telling the weather story.
When I started in 1980, we had a large 10-foot wide plywood map on the wall that you would put little stickers on with sunny faces or clouds with frowns or rain. somewhere where you thought that was going to happen. I guess you had some numbers, too, that you could stick on so you could have temperatures around the country. Bob came up with this system of art cards, and they were actually just colored construction paper glued onto pieces of cardboard, and then the camera would take a picture of it, and then they could put that in the chroma key. So it was the earliest precursor of graphics, but there were no graphics.
There are graphics now.
Yeah, where are your stickers?
And David actually helped us make that transition from the 10-foot plywood map to the computer era. And both David and Bob, one of their greatest characteristics is they were calm. Never got too worked up, because you know what it's like when you work with a computer. Sometimes it works and sometimes
it doesn't.
You've got to do that. All right, let's talk about heat and humidity. That's something that's been around since 1949, no doubt about that. And it returns as we get to later in the work week. Hazy, hot, and humid. Those are the yard of bricks at the Motor Speedway. Here's your average temperature. Look way up here as we get to Wednesday is the day that it really kicks in. 6 out of the next 7 days. Temperatures will be in the 80s. It just so happens tomorrow is the cool day. Okay, I know you're thinking about a lot as we move our way toward Memorial Day weekend, Carb Day. Hot and humid, temperatures upper 80s. It will feel like the low 90s, though. Legends Day, can't rule out a spotty shower or thunderstorm, mid-80s, and then Race Day, same thing. During the heat of the day, some scattered thunderstorms possible. Temperatures in the mid-80s will refine that a little bit, but there's the stair-step of individual temperatures as we go into what is our warmest sustained temperatures within 2019 so far. I think the national weather story over the next 12 hours will occur in eastern portions of the Texas Panhandle into Oklahoma. Severe storms and the potential for a tornado outbreak there. They've had what we call a PDS tornado watch, particularly dangerous situation as far as tornado threat. 73 in Evansville, 52 in Gary, everyone in between well below average for this time of year. We wake up comfortably cool in the 40s tomorrow morning. The showers are most likely north and northwest of Indianapolis during the morning hours. Can't rule out some showers as far south as Interstate 70. Those lift to the northeast tomorrow evening. There are the temperatures tomorrow, again, below average. Enjoy the cool temperatures because it switches very quickly from temperatures around 70 tomorrow to the upper 80s by Friday. Any severe weather threat tomorrow night is in the lower marginal category, more along the Wabash River. As we go tomorrow night into the morning hours, the thunderstorms with the storm system to the south and west will arrive across Illinois into Indiana, and we could have a few strong to severe storms overnight. Wednesday, we make our move. Temperatures will move into the low 80s in the afternoon. Wednesday, any showers or thunderstorms in the morning hours. Then we'll cool off, or we'll get those to move out, and temperatures will start to respond to a little late day sunshine. 81 in the metro area, 84 in Bloomington and Columbus. Warmest day looks to be Carb Day, and that is a big day at the track if you've ever gone. I mean, it is as difficult to get in there for Carb Day as it is Race Day because it's a more concentrated time frame where everybody wants to get to the track. You'll work up a sweat as we go to the weekend.
No matter what. Yeah, I mean, that is a fact.
Temperatures in the middle 80s with that daily chance of thunderstorms through Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Well, it's now race week, as you heard Kevin mention, leading up to Sunday's running of the Indianapolis 500.
Dave First and Tony Kanaan are at the Speedway with a look at Monday's track action.
Tony Kanaan, Day First, track site 6 on a Monday. Last time we really get a chance to talk to you until Carb Day. A wild 2-hour practice today. I mean, you guys were lined up 20 deep or so, maybe even more than that in this practice session. What'd you guys learn in that?
Oh, you learn and you don't, because in the race, sometimes you're not going to see that happening. You know what I mean? You're going to have some gaps, but you try to run in traffic. You try to understand what you need, levels of downforce, what your car is behaving. It was a pretty cool day.
And by the way, it's 60 degrees outside.
Exactly. So it's going to be 84 by the time it comes to the race. So I think we're just trying to judge. I mean, I've been here long enough not to panic or overreact and be too happy thinking, oh, this is the car that I have. We have a decent car. We're going to wait. Carb Day looks similar to race day, temperature-wise, so it will be another an hour and a half there.
A couple things for you. At one point, you hopped in Matthias Leigh's car, your teammate's car. What'd you learn there?
I can't really tell you guys because it's easy to pick, but I was just comparing two different. It's a big change to do in the cars.
Right.
So we decided
to do that. To break it up, do different strategies here in this practice session. And then at one point, you're coming up on Oriole Servia. I'm watching this. I'm thinking Oriole's going to go down to the cool-down lane.
Yeah, which he should.
Instead he stays up on top, and then you kind of gave him the old proverbial, hey, you're number one gesture, right?
I mean, it was, I don't know what we was thinking. I mean, I'm coming up. We had the courtesy of you leaving the pits, somebody's coming up to speed, into turn 3, and I had to brake and downshift 3 gears. And obviously, he needs to rely on the spotter too, so I don't know, I'll talk.
Sure, but I mean, that's a sign of what traffic can be like out here, especially when you got all 33 out there at the same
100%.
time.
It's not pleasant, that's for sure. The cars are really light.
Marcus Ericsson with a bit of a push up in the turn 3 wall. He carried on. Again, some of this traffic today, but all told, Simon Pagenaud was the quickest in the quick 6, 228.441. You're heading to Philadelphia now, right?
Yeah, I'll be in Philly all day tomorrow. I'll be back here tomorrow night.
But more importantly, the Zoopolis 500.
Oh, yeah, it's coming on Wednesday, and Leo's going to be here, my other kid, and we'll see what turtle is going to win the race.
We'll catch up with you then. Tony Kanaan, day first. A fun day here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Tonight at 11, this year's Indy 500 will be the first in decades without a familiar, faithful face. We're taking a trip through the RTV6 archives and Father Glenn O'Connor's influence on IndyCar.
And this all leads up to May 30th when former anchors Clyde Lee and Dion Willis lead us in a 1-hour special at 7 p.m. 70 years together, RTV6 working for you. We hope you will join us.
We sure do. I've got a big introduction, and I mean big, literally. Meet Duncan and Lily. I'll walk any dog during my forecast.
Look at them.
They have taken control of the sofa. Temperatures will be in the 50s if you hop off the sofa and go for a walk this evening.
They're cute together.
You send your picture in.
It's their sofa.
I'll walk the dog.
Right. Thanks for joining us for RTV6 News at 6.
See you at 7.